I'm waiting outside the bathroom. We had passed an older guy. He was in his 70s, maybe 80. He was dressed like Santa Claus. Beard, it all. And we had passed him 2 miles back. So I was like, this is great. So I'm waiting outside the bathroom and I'm going up and down trying to stay warm, like keep my muscles warm. 5 minutes go by. Peter's not in the bathroom. Peter doesn't come out. And I'm like, what is taking him so long? 10 minutes, nothing. I'm texting him. I'm calling him. He's not answering my phone calls. I'm like, what could possibly be happening in the bathroom? Y'all, Santa Claus passes me. And I'm like, at this point, we are now 2 miles behind where we stopped. Later on, the story is he couldn't get up from the toilet because his muscles cramped up on him so bad. He literally couldn't get up and was trying to muster the strength to be able to get up and go outside.
Hi, Fearless Chicas. We are back with our first video podcast. Woo! We're super excited. We're here to talk to you about all things Fearless Women Running Tribe. We have tons of events coming up. We are so excited to share with you. I'm here with my mom. She wanted me to lead this podcast today, so that's what I'm doing because I'm being obedient.
It's the first one, video podcast, number 1, like the official one.
First one we've ever done. We did a couple trials, but this is like the first one.
It's like the first one.
Right.
So what we want you to do is feel like you can literally pull up your chair at the table and join in the conversation. We want you to feel like you're going to hear us laugh and we'll be very goofy and, do all the things like that. And we want you just to feel like you're a part of a girl table talk and just join in our fun. So today we're going to talk about an upcoming event that we have.
Yes.
So as you're listening to this podcast, it's 23rd of February. We are out at Walt Disney World running the Disney Princess Half Marathon Weekend. So the 23rd is today, right? So we have already ran the 5K. Naisha, who is behind the cameras. She was supposed to be at this table with us, but technical difficulties and I forgot the microphone. That's okay. So she's running with us, Kristina and me. Mm-hmm. We are running the challenge. So the Disney Princess Half Marathon Challenge, which is a 5K, a 10K, and a half marathon. So the 3 of us are running that. Other Rise team members are also running different races, just not all of them. So as you are listening and watching us, we are running the 5K. So the 5K is this morning at 5 a.m. in the morning. Tomorrow we run the 10K. And Sunday we run the half marathon with our Fearless gear on and all that great stuff. So we wanted to join you because we came on here last year in January. Kristina said, I want to run. And we did a whole podcast on that. And we weren't able to get to the Dopey Challenge because it sold out. So then we did the Disney Princess Half Marathon, and 10 of us were able to get in because you get in as you're able to.
Correct.
They open it up for everybody, and those who can get in and those who can't just can't get in. Mm-hmm. So 10 of us were able to snag spaces for these races, and we were supposed to start training officially July 2024. Yeah. So we said we would come up and keep you posted. So life has thrown a lot at all of us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Kristina just got married 3 weeks ago.
I am a married woman.
Yep.
Y'all.
So if you were at the conference, you were able to hear her testimony. And if you weren't at the conference, you'll hear it later on. I'll have her on a podcast and we'll discuss your testimony then. That's not it today. But Naisha has had a total training of a 10K. So she's gone up to 6.1 miles in her training. Kristina, how many miles have you gone in your training?
So I would just like to preface and say, I've done 2 halves. So I know what to expect. Does that make it any easier? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So in total, in training since July, I have walked around Disney World. So that's my form of training. But I will tell you, mentally, I am in a way different place than I was a year ago. Yeah. So honestly, when you're running, it is mind over matter.
It is, always.
Because your body's exhausted, but your mind is like, you can do it. And I promise you, if you really put something in your mind, you would be amazed at what you can accomplish.
Yeah.
So, and I'm in a way better spot than I was health-wise a year ago.
Absolutely.
So I lost 158 pounds, y'all. It's been a journey since you heard me last January. It's been crazy.
Y'all, it's crazy. I lost 0 pounds. I've gained 3. Crazy how life is, right?
Crazy.
Yeah, so I haven't lost anything. I've trained a total of 2 miles. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have our producing guy in the back going, wow, yeah, that's it. And we're running a total, is it a 39 something? 30?
So it's 13 miles plus the 6. That's 19 plus the 3 miles, 20, 21, 22. So 22.6.
Yeah. Total miles. And of those, I've trained twice. Christina's done two half marathons?
2 half marathons and 3 10Ks.
3 10Ks. I've done numerous 5Ks, numerous 10Ks. I was an avid runner for 7 years. I've run 2 full marathons, and I've ran upwards of 15 half marathons.
What a champion.
Yeah, go me, right? And
You can do it again.
I can. I just
Nothing.
don't really want to.
Yes.
But anyway, so I haven't been able to run, and everybody says it's muscle memory. So since last year in my life, she got married, lost 150 pounds. Menopause hit me in March last year, and it's different pain somewhere else in my joints. So I'm taking all kinds of like supplements and all that stuff. And walking is painful on my hip, one of them specifically. So it's been between injuries, because you've had injuries, I've had injuries, Nation's had injuries. The weather hasn't been cooperating. Every time we have to go do a run, it's raining. Just a lot of things that we did not plan on. And of course, we're going to do this because we said we were going to do it. Mm-hmm. And when we commit to something, we do it around here. So we are going to put our running shoes on and we are going to go run this Princess Half Marathon, and we are going to document everything. So we are going to go live through the Fearless Women Rise Facebook page. So if you're listening to it today, the 23rd of February, you can go to our Facebook page and you should see videos of us, of our 5K, us documenting like
the Runner's
Village, and us praying before we go to our wave spot and meeting characters. Because what we do want to create within the Fearless Women Rise community is in the sense that we need to be healthy in our body. So it's not about a number. It's not about what the scale says. It's about you taking care of yourself. It's like self-care. And so many of us as women, we forget that is so important in our lives because we're taking care of ourselves and doing things to stimulate that, right? So we're not as prepared as we want to be. But this is an event that stimulates us and motivates us to be better with our health.
And not only that, it's setting a goal for yourself and accomplishing it.
Right.
Because
no matter the obstacle,
it's getting there and finishing it and letting your yes be yes and your no be no.
Right.
And when you commit to something, I was always someone who would commit to something and like quit halfway. Like that was my personality.
Yeah, because it got hard or it didn't go the way you thought.
I didn't finish. I think this past year I've been sicker than I've ever been. Like I got bronchitis, then I had like walking pneumonia at one point, and then I had 2 viral infections in the span of a month where I could not get out and run or do anything.
Yeah.
And every time I'm like, I'm going to start the gym, I'm going to go. And I would tell Naisha, I'm going to go. I would get sick or something would happen where it wouldn't allow it. And then on top of that, I was planning a whole wedding. So it was just one thing after the other. I didn't expect to get married in February when we committed to all this. That's a part of my testimony. I'll share it with you guys later.
Yeah.
Because I had not met my now husband until July of last year. June of last year. So after we had committed, I'm like, okay, wait.
Well, you committed I think you might have got together the end of June.
The end of June, after I had already committed to running, but then I didn't realize how God was going to fast forward this relationship. So I didn't expect things to accelerate as fast as they did. Right. I'm so blessed and thankful that they did because I love him. He's amazing. And you guys will meet him at some point, I'm sure. But it's just all beautiful things, which is why it's another thing that's pushing me to finish this goal because I'm going to finish everything I start. Right. No matter how hard it gets.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's one of the most important things because as women, so many things get thrown in our lives that when the going gets tough, it's easier to throw the towel in. It's easier to say, I'm not doing it. Because for me, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. This is, I'm 51. I'm not 7 years ago, Mimi, where I was 43 or 44 and I still had, my body was completely different back then than it is now. I can give many reasons as to why, I can't do it or I shouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. And I think we go through in our lives as women just giving so many reasons as to why we can't do it or we shouldn't do it. And we always end up placing ourselves at the end of our to-do list. Yeah. We don't place ourselves in the beginning of the to-do list. And I think one of the most important things for women is not to believe that because you're not at the front of your to-do list that you're being selfish. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
No, agreed. I think that society has a very warped perception on where women should place themselves in their lives. Like society tells us that we have to carry everybody else's burdens, do everybody else's job, be the strong woman, don't cry, don't be weak, don't do any of these things. And they don't promote self-care in women.
Right.
Like mental health with women is something that's really not talked about a lot, because women are expected to carry the brunt of a lot of things, whether that be family, whether that be kids, whether that be work responsibilities. I know women who hold it down and work 50, 60 hours a week, come home and they're moms to their kids, and they do all this alone without a partner.
Yeah.
So they're expected, that's what society is expecting of us.
Put yourself last, everybody else
last,
in front
everybody
of you.
first. So when you live in the context of, okay, I'm going to put myself first, it's not so much of a selfish mindset, because if you don't put yourself first, you don't know how to take care of anybody else.
If you don't put yourself first, then how can you take care of other people
Exactly.
when you're not full,
and then
you're
you
not
feel
taken
like
care
nothing
of?
that you ever do in taking care of those things is ever 100% done the way that you want it to be done.
Right.
Because everything's kind of left at like 70% here, because you're not your best self. So when you're not your best self, you can't fully invest in everything you want to invest in, and everything gets left high and dry, and then you start things you can't finish.
Right.
That's how that happens.
Right.
So the biggest thing with that is, when you understand who you are, you understand who God's created to be. You understand that you have to put yourself first, and that's not saying become selfish and then not help the needs of others. That's not what that means.
Right.
It means it's about caring for yourself so much more that now, when you go into situations, you have a different perspective on every single situation that's presented in front of you. Yeah. Like, for example, if this was a year and a half ago and we would have had no training, I would have been like, man, nope, not doing it.
Yeah,
not doing it. There's no way.
That's not going to happen.
And now I have a different mindset where I'm like, no, I can do it. I'm going to get in the gym for a week, and even if it's just a week I can get in the gym, or even if it's just 2-3 laps I can do, I know that I can do it, because I've created a health journey for myself that I stuck with. Yeah. And if I stuck with this goal, I'm going to stick with this next goal.
Yeah. So I'll share with you something that we did, that our family did. We went to a Disney marathon. It was a January. And I had been training for my first marathon. So that weekend, there was a bunch of races. As a family, we ran the 10K. You guys had a blast. Mm-hmm. I ran it just kind of in preparation for my full marathon, 26.2 miles.
I still
Craziness.
can't believe you did that.
I did it. And I trained all the way up to 19 miles. So I trained for a good 8 months, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays, going out to parks and just running up to 19. I was so proud of myself. I was just determined. So my husband and I ran with the kids. We had a great time. And running the 10K is just 6 miles, and it's through Disney World. So
through
I mean,
Epcot.
through Epcot, and you're entertained, and we're taking selfies, and we're taking pictures, and we're having a great time, which is what these races do. At the end of the race, my husband says, I think I can run a marathon. I said, babe, you haven't trained. I've trained 19 miles. You haven't trained? Nope, I think I could run it. So he got a bib. Bib is what you put in the front, has your name and your runner's number and all that. So he was able to get one. And he said, I want to run the marathon with you. And I said, all right, I think that would be great. Low-key inside, I was like, don't do it. Don't run it with me. Don't run it with me, because you're gonna kill my PR. So in running, it's a time that you get, because I had trained, and out in my mind, I said I'm gonna run this at 11:30 to 12-minute mile, and it's gonna be great. I'm gonna finish in this amount of time. Like, I had my whole idea as to how everything was gonna run in my head. So Peter runs it with me, and as we started to run, I let him take the lead when I'm the one who trained for 19 miles. So we start going, listen, mile 8 hit, I think, in the marathon, around mile 8 or 11. I think it was mile 11. He died on me. Like, not died. He's still living. But, we went to the bathroom. He's like, I got to stop. I got to use the bathroom. And I said, all right. So I'm outside and I'm pacing. Be quick, because I'm already trained. I don't use bathrooms when I'm running, because while you're running, you're
trying to
sweating,
shave off as
and
much time
you're
as possible.
right. So you're trying, you're go. I don't even stop. I wasn't even stopping for character spots, because they have characters over the place and you can take pictures. I just wanted
for the half and the full. No one has time for that.
No one has time for that. So I'm waiting outside the bathroom. We had passed an older guy. He was in his 70s, maybe 80. He was dressed like Santa Claus, beard, it all. And we had passed him 2 miles back. So I was like, this is great. So I'm waiting outside the bathroom, and I'm going up and down, trying to stay warm, like keep my muscles warm. 5 minutes go by. Peter's not in the bathroom. This is at Animal Kingdom now. We had ran from Epcot to Magic Kingdom. Now we're Animal Kingdom. Peter doesn't come out, and I'm like, what is taking him so long? 10 minutes, nothing. I'm texting him. I'm calling him. He's not answering my phone calls. I'm like, what could possibly be happening in the bathroom? Y'all, Santa Claus passes me. And I'm like, at this point, we are now 2 miles behind where we stopped. So 30 minutes have gone by. This man has had no training. He couldn't, later on the story is, he couldn't get up from the toilet. because his muscles cramped up on him so bad. He literally couldn't get up and was trying to muster the strength to be able to get up and go outside. So finally, after half an hour, he goes outside. I am livid, like all types of
That's
mad.
almost 3 miles you've
that I lost.
that you lost, yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, I'm behind now. So I look at him and I say, now I'm taking the lead. We're going to book it. So we start running. That was mile 11. Running. We get on the highway. Mile 13, his knee blows out because he's not trained. But all that to say, I can keep going about that story, but all that to
That's
say,
a half marathon right there.
yes, that's only half.
That's
He
only
blows
half
out his knee.
there.
I still have 13 miles to go. We get to ESPN. So if you've been to Disney World, there's a lot of spots. We get to ESPN. I'm coming around to head back to Epcot, and Kristina calls me and says, the balloon ladies are behind you guys. So balloon ladies is, if they reach you, a bus is picking you up. I had trained 19 miles for 8 months. Myself was not going to get picked up by a bus. So I booked it and I said, you're not going to stop running until you get to Epcot. I made that man run. He couldn't walk like for 2 more weeks after that. It was really bad. Anyhow, I was telling Kristina, I know I haven't trained like I should have, but if Peter Martinez can run 26.2 miles with no training whatsoever, Mimi Martinez is going to run this half marathon. So
That's right.
it's something that I find it as difficult because I haven't ran in a while. I didn't train like I was supposed to. There was just obstacle after obstacle after obstacle for all of us. So we couldn't get it in. But we are going to do it.
Absolutely.
And we may come out of the half limping and with a few not like literally dragging across that finish line, but we're going to do it and we're going to document it all for you just to kind of share with you women and to teach you women that anything you set your mind to is possible.
Absolutely.
And in life, you're going to go through hurdles, you're going to go through obstacles, you're going to have setbacks, you're going to feel like it's not worth it. Even in your walk with Christ, you're going to go through different things that you say, I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to give up. God's not there. No, he's absolutely there. He just wants us to lean on him and not to give up. So we are going to go run this with God's help. He knows the year we've all had. And we're going to get through this finish line, and we're going to be putting everything on the Facebook social media, and we're going to put it on the show notes, the link to our Facebook page, so you could just click right there and it'll take you to all of our videos. And then we're going to come back, and next week you'll hear a podcast with us talking to you about our experience through the run and all the funny stories that we are going to share with you. So stay tuned. We just wanted to come on and give you an update of what was happening since it is race weekend.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. Any last words you want to tell them?
I would say if you set goals for yourself this year, no matter how hard, no matter how not feasible they may seem, do them anyway. And I have found in this past year of my life that when you do things, even if you're fearful that they're not going to work out, do it afraid, because you never know what beautiful things could come from just one decision of saying yes to doing something you set your mind to do. So
yeah, and I think that 2024, we're already ending February. How many New Year's resolutions have you possibly maybe giving up on because the year started out really hard and you're like, yeah, no, I'm not doing it. Yeah, bump that. I'm not doing that. Yeah, nope, it's too hard. And we give up because it's not going as expected. It's not going as we planned. It's not going how we thought it in our mind. So if you started 2024 with goals, I would encourage you, hey, even if you've already done it, if you've already said, yeah, I'm not doing it, go back to your goals, sit down again with your list and say, nope, I'm going to pick it back up and I'm going to go forward and I am going to do this. Especially, let's say if it's your relationship with God and you started January and you were trying to make a change, right? And you're like, God, this year's going to be different. Because I've heard it from many women. It's going to be different with you. I'm going to spend time with you. I'm going to give my all to you. I'm going to give my 100% surrender. And now you're getting to February and you've left that along the way. It's never too late to pick it back up. So pick it back up and follow it through. Pick it back up and say, you know what? It is okay. It's okay to fall down. I always tell you guys this. It's okay to fall down. Just don't stay there.
Don't stay there.
Pick something up that you've learned along the way and get back up and finish what you started. If you said you were going to do it, do it. Know better, do better. If you said it, do it. And you will have many blessings when you follow through on things. Because I'm sure we're going to sit here, the next podcast, and say, man, it's probably hard, or share the challenges that we went through. And I think all three of us, and even you'll meet some of the other girls that ran with us, will say it was absolutely worth it. I would do it all over again. Hard things are worth it.
Yep.
And a relationship with Christ is not easy, but it is worth it. That's the only thing in this world that is so worth it. But when we put ourselves out there to accomplish goals, it'll be hard. But once you do it, you'll sit back and say, it was so worth it. Like the podcast. We weren't supposed to do video podcasts till season 3. That was starting in August. We are now in February and already doing a video podcast. And the podcast itself, when it was just audio, was hard.
Yes.
And we were all nervous. And it was a lot of work. And after we started seeing the reward of it and hearing the stories of so many different women, we said it's worth it. And it's the same thing with this.
Absolutely.
Right? So just stay connected to us. We would love to hear from you. Did you enjoy the video podcast? Like, we would love to hear your thoughts about this. We have so many more topics, other guests that I'm going to be inviting, many more things that we're going to be doing. We just finished the conference. Next up is we have a retreat, women's retreat coming up for FWR.
Yeah, so exciting.
Our retreat's great.
They are.
They are great. It is a weekend just for you and forgot to meet you. And that's coming up in April. So we have a link to that as well in the show notes. April 12th, I think, the weekend of April 12th. But go to that. And then we have our refresh coming up in September. So there's always something in the Fearless Women Rights community to keep you plugged in, to keep you pushing you to your goals, to keep you pushing you to accomplishing what you said you would do. So Kristina, thank you for being with me.
Absolutely.
How exciting. You were my first one, my firstborn, my first guest on the podcast for video. A married woman, and hopefully soon we'll be announcing that the family gets even bigger. How exciting. All right, ladies. So pray for us. I mean, you're already listening to the podcast. We're already at the weekend. We're already doing these runs. So keep us in your prayers. Cheer us on. And go to the Facebook page and just join in the fun that we will be having alongside you. So, ladies, remember, don't just survive, live, and be fearless, and go after those goals. Be a goal getter. Love you guys.